EP50 opening script. Finalist second Proud Korean Screenplay Competition. Original screenplay, Scorpio, adapted into the 123 episode. Epic spy thriller, Beauty Spy War. Episode 50, The North-Dispatched HUMINT, returns alive. Episode 49 recap. Young, Jo Seong-tae, name badge pinned to his chest. Bring that bastard in right now. Without a soul knowing, drag him in quietly. Dad, run away now. Barefoot dragged away in handcuffs. A little girl's small hands, trying to pass her socks to her barefoot father, reaching, almost touching, never quite grasping. Damn it all. Operative Eun-ah returns. A round of applause. Are you trying to make a deal with me? What exactly is this? Today's episode 50. What I was shocked to find out is that he was a HUMINT. We ourselves had sent the human network already. Embedded inside could be put at risk. Handler Ji Sang-tae, the legendary Gyeongsang dialect. What does your father do for a living? His back is bent from farming. And this is what you're doing? Running activist turned Jongbeom province governor. Jong-hak-soo kingmaker story. Fingernails, toenails, all pulled out under torture. Not a word. Not once. Because he didn't break. They believed him completely. The miracle of entering Myeoyang Mountain Guest House, like a salmon released into a river, returning years later. This is Water Beetle. Water Beetle. No one knew what that meant. Hey Water Beetle. Welcome back. I waited for you until I retired. How have you been? A missionary caught in North Korea, broken through temptation and guilt. They squeezed out every last drop, until the person broke completely. Then out of nowhere, Shin Jung-min is mentioned. Although Shin Jung-min died on South Korean soil, he is treated as a hero. In the north, his child came up to the Myeoyang Mountain guest house. Spy training? Truly that father's daughter. Boarded a semi-submersible? What kind of situation is this? Shin Soo-ji has gone back, down to the south. What kind of absurd situation is this? Bring that Water Beetle in. Right now. This instant. Episode 50 begins now. Episode 50. The North-Dispatched HUMINT returns alive. Director, why are you getting so worked up? There must be a reason for it. What reason? What is this? Why is it difficult to tell me? If you come barging in like that without any warning, it puts me in a difficult position. What's difficult about it? Am I a spy? That's not what I meant by spy. Come on, why are you like this? The more you push back, the worse my mood gets. What shocked me is that this person turns out to be a HUMINT we ourselves had sent. A HUMINT? That's why even the director couldn't be told directly. Anyone who crosses over looking for freedom is all the same. That's not the case. Jongbeom shook his head firmly, pushing back hard against the director's view. Not the case? Then what is it? It's because the human network already embedded inside could be put at risk. That's why no one can meet this person directly. Then, what are we supposed to do? The work has to go through the handler. Who was in charge when this person went up to North Korea? A handler? Who in the investigation unit was handling this person? Is anyone even still around? I'll explain gradually. This is someone who was sent up an incredibly long time ago. Then why are you bringing this to me now? Because the handler will manage this directly. And you, director, are the person who needs to support that handler. That's why I'm telling you. Let's open the classified file first. Whoa, why has your temper gotten so short? You're not a toddler. Before we go looking through the historical records, shouldn't you sign the confidentiality agreement first? Fine, do you think I'm going to go spreading this all over the neighborhood? No, it's not that I don't trust you. It's just procedure, isn't it? So this is someone we trained and smuggled into North Korea? And they somehow managed to survive? Yes. This person was lucky. Lucky? Lucky enough to get caught over there. Good grief, how is getting caught over there a good thing? They were caught and endured brutal torture. How is surviving brutal torture a good thing? A person gets completely destroyed. But they didn't die, and that's the good part. My goodness, you really do make things difficult to follow. Just tell it to me straight. Because they didn't die because they endured the torture. They managed to grab the stroke of luck that got them into the Myeoyang Mountain guest house. How does that help? Well, they were strong against torture, weren't they? I'm told that North Korea trusted them because of that unbreakable strength under torture. So they passed because of that. Even after shaking out every last bit of their soul, they never talked. So they were believed as genuine? Exactly. So a stroke of heaven-sent luck followed them into the Myeoyang Mountain guest house? Yes. Find them and bring them in. I'm curious whether I'd know this person. The handler at the time they went up was Ji Sang-tae. Ji Sang-tae? It's an old name, I feel like I almost remember it. You know, the investigation team leader. Who was in the investigation unit, short in stature. Salt and pepper hair, that rich Gyeongsang dialect? Hometown was Masan, I think? I feel like that senior is coming back to me. Wasn't he famous for his speeches? When they were rounding up the activists in Busan back in the day. Speaking of that, how exactly did he give those speeches that made him so famous? He'd say things like, "What does your daddy do for a living? You little so-and-so, your daddy's back is bent from farming. And his whole body is breaking down, and this is what you're out here doing? What a waste of rice, you rotten little so-and-so." That's how he'd educate them. My goodness, giving a lecture in that situation. Just thinking about it is funny. And he was the handler? Yes. It's starting to come back to you, isn't it? Oh, I know that one. It's become a legendary episode in our investigation bureau. Yes. And the activist who was brought in back then as years went by. He's now the governor of Jongbeom province. That's right, Jong-hak-soo, I heard. He said, "You little so-and-so, stop this protesting nonsense. If you want to change the world into what you want, study hard and walk into the establishment with your head held high." That's what he said. That's right. And that friend really did study hard. And became a heavyweight with serious influence in the political world. So Ji Sang-tae played the role of kingmaker for the big shot. Jongbeom Province Governor Jong-hak-soo. He gets mentioned as a presidential contender every now and then these days. Yes. What's that fellow with the thick-rimmed glasses up to these days? Jong-hak-soo, I mean. Jong-hak-soo may not have the influence he once did, but come election season, he still gets plastered all over the newspapers as a dark horse candidate, doesn't he? That aside, I need to meet Ji Sang-tae myself. The man with the salt and pepper hair. I'll arrange a meeting. Good. But I wonder, how did that person ever get through the torture? When they were infiltrated into North Korea at the time, their fingernails and toenails were all pulled out under torture. And then did they say, "I am a spy infiltrated by a South Korean intelligence agency," and confess? Confess? They didn't budge even under the worst of the torture. Where is the person who can withstand torture? Every now and then there are people born with an unusual physical constitution, aren't there? How did they end up being believed? Because they didn't break even under torture. North Korea just believed them unconditionally. Why believe them? What were they going to use them for? This person is not a spy who infiltrated from South Korea. If we train this person, there will be uses for them. They believed that? That's what they said when they were met afterward, apparently. But how did they end up crossing back? And how did they know to look for handler Ji Sang-tae first? Strange, isn't it? It's like a salmon released into a river. A salmon comes back years later to the very river it was released into to spawn. That's right, they really came back like a released salmon. Yes. After going through untold hardships to cross over, the very first thing they did was call our NIS. They'd want nothing to do with this, and yet they called us? That's exactly why they're like a salmon, isn't it? Right, so that salmon like HUMINT, I want to see them even more now. I'm curious. At first even our side didn't know. Why didn't they know? It's ancient history. The handler had already retired. And then out of nowhere, the person who picked up the phone at the office gets told, "This is Water Beetle." Water Beetle, so no one knew. If someone just says Water Beetle out of nowhere, no one would know. That's a call sign. But the junior investigator who took the call knew it instinctively. Now that's a sharp one. So that's how it came to light. Good instincts, right? What if they'd thought, "What a lunatic," and put them through to the police? Or had them thrown in a psychiatric ward? Then it would all go to waste. That's right, that's exactly the right way to put it. Someone calls out of nowhere asking for an investigator. Who's been retired for over 10 years? How would anyone know? No one would know if you're asking for a retired investigator. After nearly 10 or more years like that, people change, phone numbers change, don't they? That's right. Phone numbers change all the time. If someone suddenly says their call sign, no one would know. Wait, what did you say the call sign was just now? Was it water bug? Ha ha ha, even our director has let a lot of time pass. Memory flickering a bit. Not water bug, Water Beetle. Water Beetle? Ha 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 ha, right, Water Beetle. This is no laughing matter. This is serious intelligence. Is that so? And so they said, "This is Water Beetle. Could you put investigator Ji Sang-tae on the line, please? It's urgent." After all that time had passed, how did they still remember the name Investigator Ji Sang-tae? I found that strange too. It must have been difficult to keep reciting that name all along. That right there is what makes someone qualified to be a HUMINT. Our operative thought, this is definitely the returning Salmon. How does someone get into a place like that in North Korea? They were lucky. So just think of it as they ended up working in a very important place. Must have had connections with the party. It's more important than the party there. Must have had some special skill. No special skill to speak of, and yet they ended up working at the Myeoyong Mountain Guest House. Can someone really get into the Myeoyong Mountain Guest House that easily? Hard to believe, isn't it? I didn't believe it either. At first. Investigator Ji Sang-tae certainly picked a good one. It seems he had the foresight to pick people with 20 years in mind. That's exactly why people call him a kingmaker. So what did Ji Sang-tae do when all this came to light? Handler Ji Sang-tae took the returned salmon into his arms. He met them and took them in? I'm curious, what was the very first thing he said? Curious, right? He said, "Hey Water Beetle, welcome back." I waited for you until I retired. How have you been? And reconnected with Water Beetle just like that. So what is Water Beetle up to these days? Must have gotten quite a reward? Quite a bit, I'd imagine. We're talking about the Myeoyang Mountain Guest House. The place that trains spies, after all. Did a lot of information come out? I'm curious. Tell me more. You know about the missionary who went to North Korea to help and got caught. Yes, I remember. How did that person end up losing their mind? I heard they went mad. They kept him awake, beat and tortured him relentlessly, creating a complete mental collapse. Apparently there was a great deal of psychological pressure too. They must have threatened to kill the family a lot. The story goes that they tried to corrupt a very innocent soul. Can a mind so deeply rooted in religious conviction be broken that easily? That's why through imprisonment and torture, in trying to reshape the mind, it seems they gave tremendous physical suffering. Did they brand them with fire? What kind of torture? That kind of pain too, but apparently they corrupted the devout moral discipline that religious people hold most sacred and filled the mind with guilt. Corrupting a religious person? Is that even possible? He said they used female operatives to wear down the body and feed the demons in the mind. So that's how a person loses their mind. They corrupted a devout Christian, tore them to shreds. In a word, they squeezed out every last drop and dried them out completely. Until the person broke. Then this is a tremendously important figure, who must have been involved in spy training. Among North Korean defectors, an exceptionally unusual case. That's right. And then strangely enough Shin Jong-min came up in the conversation. But why Shin Jong-min? That's ancient history. It's not like he went up there. Director Jo jolted as if burned. The moment Shin Jong-min, the very person from his dream, was mentioned. Yes. Although Shin Jong-min died on South Korean soil, he is treated as a hero in the North. Treated as a hero? And his child apparently came up to the Myeoyang Mountain Guest House. His child? To the guest house? How did they get there? What for? It's not tourism. It seems they came up to receive spy training. Spy training? Truly that father's daughter. A real hero has emerged. Fierce, isn't she? Blood doesn't lie, as they say. Do you know the name, physical characteristics, anything else? All we heard was that she grew up in the South and one way or another boarded a semi-submersible to go up. Boarded a semi-submersible? What kind of situation is this? It means a covert operations vessel was coming and going. That's one way to look at it. She must be thoroughly armed ideologically too. Yes. She probably thinks her father was unjustly arrested. Her animosity toward the South will be at its peak, and she would be looking to avenge her father. We really need to know. Shin Soo-ji's face, physical characteristics, any distinguishing features. The handler asked, but they wouldn't say. They won't say? Why? Well, is that also a bargaining chip? Or are they asking for more money by raising the price of the information? That does happen with these folks sometimes. Is that so? Where is this person now? They've left Hanawan and learned wallpaper installation. Wallpaper installation is good work. Hard, but seems there's quite a lot of work. They go around doing wallpaper installation in a grandeur. Ask around, let's meet them together with the handler. Even if you meet them, these folks tend not to tell you everything they know. Wouldn't talking more mean more reward money? There have been cases where saying a few more words gets you mistakenly suspected of being a disguised defection spy. So they answer only what they're asked, and if you don't ask, they keep their mouths shut. This person too seems to have a rough sense that they know something but wouldn't open their mouth. Sealed spy training is thorough man-to-man education. Even the oldest hand at the guest house probably wouldn't know much. I heard that sealed training subjects are prevented from ever meeting each other. Partitions installed. Separate entrances, completely separated movement routes. But no matter how thoroughly people try, someone connected to the guest house would still know at least some basic characteristics. And yet Shin Soo-ji, who had received the sealed training, apparently went back down to the south. Shin Soo-ji went back down? What kind of absurd situation is this? Yes. It's mind-boggling. Bring me that water beetle. Right now. Immediately. EP50 ending script. Episode 50 highlights. Water beetle returns. The HUMINT's secret. What I was shocked to find out is that he was a HUMINT. We ourselves had sent the human network already. Embedded inside. Could be put at risk. No one can meet him directly. Only through handler Ji Sang-tae. Someone sent up, a very long time ago. Torture and miracle. Myeoyang Mountain Guest House. Fingernails and toenails, all pulled out under torture. Not a single word. Because he didn't break even then. They believed him unconditionally. Right. That's exactly it. The miracle of entering Myeoyang Mountain Guest House. Born from unbreakable strength. The legendary handler, Ji Sang-tae, short in stature. Salt and pepper hair. Rich Gyeongsang dialect. The legendary investigation team leader. What does your father do? His back is bent from farming. His whole body is worn out. And this is what you're doing? The activist he arrested, now Jongbeom province governor, Jung Hak-soo, stop this protesting. If you want to change the world, study hard and enter the system properly. The foresight to choose a person with 20 years in mind. The Kingmaker's Eye. The Salmon released. Water Beetle's return. This is Water Beetle. Water Beetle. No one at the office knew. A junior investigator, who sensed it instinctively. This is definitely the returning Salmon. Hey Water Beetle, welcome back. I waited for you until I retired. How have you been? Now driving a grandeur, working as a wallpaper installer. The Missionary. Secrets of Myeoyong. A missionary caught in North Korea. They kept him awake, beat and tortured him, relentlessly, creating mental collapse. They corrupted the devout, moral discipline that religious people hold most sacred, and filled the mind with guilt. They squeezed out every last drop, until the person broke completely. Shin Soo-ji. The shocking revelation. Shin Jong-min mentioned. Director Jo jolted, as if burned. Although Shin Jong-min died on South Korean soil, he is treated as a hero. In the North, his child came up to the Myeoyong Mountain guest house. Spy training? Truly that father's daughter. Semi-submersible. Sealed training. Separate entrances. Completely isolated movement. Shin Soo-ji has gone back. Down to the south. What kind of absurd situation is this? Bring me that water beetle. Right now. Immediately. Episode 51 Preview. The meeting with Water Beetle. Director Jo draws closer to Shin Soo-ji's identity. Handler Ji Sang-tae's next move. Is Eun-ah safe? Finalist second Proud Korean Screenplay Competition. Original screenplay, Scorpio, adapted into the 123-episode. Epic spy thriller, Beauty Spy War. New Korean episodes every Monday, Wednesday. Korean compilation every Friday. New English episodes every Tuesday, Thursday. English compilation every Saturday. Thank you for watching.